Today I'm going to talk about evolution, and I'm going to simply show you how fake and false it really is. First of all, we're going to talk about the flagellum, okay? A flagellum is like it's like a cell, but it has a little tail with it so it to swim through areas what and so this the little tail that it has to help it swim is made up of over 40 protein parts, okay? So every component of all the little proteins help it work. It's almost like an engine on a boat. Every little part of the engine is what helps the propeller move and stuff and go through the water. And if you take out one of those components of the engine on the boat, it doesn't work. It's the same with the flagellum. It's been proven scientifically. When you take out one of the protein parts, just one, it does not work. So my question is to you evolutionists is how would that evolve then? How would, according to evolution, things slowly would evolve, and according to evolution, one protein part at a time slowly go and go. But if you looked at it, it would make no sense for it just to be building random little protein parts for it to keep on building if it has no purpose. It needs all over 40 of them for it to work and actually have a use for it working. And so it just doesn't make sense how that would just all the protein parts would just come together all of a sudden just on one generation, just boom, and all of them are together, and all of a sudden the little flagellum is born. It just does not make sense. It is against science. It really doesn't make sense to me. If someone else can explain that to me, I'd love to hear it because I simply think it's so false. It just doesn't make any sense. Okay, then another thing about evolution that it just the transitional fossils. Okay, these are the fossils which are from like according to evolution. Here's what the animal used to look like, maybe a horse or something, and here's what it looks like now. Okay, so you have these two, and that's what it looked like before and now. And transitional fossils are the ones in between, are the fossils in between these. And really, there's so few of them. They'll maybe find like maybe 5 or 10 of them in the whole planet of 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 an animal, and all of a sudden they'll create some big map showing how it changed it. Really, transitional fossils, there should be so many more of them in the earth. We should be able to find so many more, but there's so few of them. We just find the fossils mostly, the majority of them, of what the animal looks like already. And so it really doesn't make any sense. There should be a lot more fossils of the animal in between these two areas of existence. Okay, and then another thing, I've heard this from people, it's if evolution is true, where do morals come from? Where do we get the thought that this is right, this is wrong? Like everyone knows that murdering someone is not right, but where do we get that from? According to evolution, we're just here, it doesn't matter, so according to evolution we can just do whatever we want and it doesn't matter. That just doesn't make sense. Morals had to come from somewhere, and that's why it proves that creationism is more correct than any of this because creationism is real. God could have created a flagellum just like that. Okay, same with transitional fossils, there was none. Because there is none on the earth, that proves that God created it like it is right now. And morals, God created them. God gave us a conscience. God gave us something to think out of and make our own decisions. And He puts His conscience in us so that we know what's wrong and what's right. And so I just want you to think about that. I want to know what you guys have to what you think about this video. Any questions or comments that you might have. Thanks a lot for listening to my video. See you later.